This next example is a really interesting one because what they're asking us to do is actually work backwards. You notice that they started, I'll use my fancy highlighter here, they started by telling us that the volume, hey, it's not working. The volume is 523 cubic centimeters. So if we already know the volume and we have a formula for volume, of a sphere, then when we put everything together, we put 523 equals 4 times pi times r cubed all over 3. So here we have a situation where what we want is actually buried inside all of the formula, and we need to sort of pull it out of there so that we can find out what r equals. So this is a really interesting question. We're going to actually go back to the equation solving that we did at the beginning of the semester, and I think what we'll do is we'll start with a switcheroo. So let's put the left or the right side of the equation over on the left side, and we'll put that 523 over on the right side. Now we're going to build a wall, and we're going to take each of the 3 things on the left hand side of the equation that don't belong there and put them over on the right, so that all we have left is r cubed on the left side. So if we have 523 on the right side already, if I bring this 3 over to the other side, the 3 is divided on the left, so it needs to be multiplied on the right. This 4 is multiplied on this side, so it needs to be divided. And the 3.14 is multiplied on that side, so it also needs to be divided. So all the divided things can go in the bottom because that's where we have dividing taking place, and all the multiplying things can go in the top. What we have left on the left side now is r cubed only. If we multiply out what we have on the right hand side, we get 124.92. Now remember what I said about rounding off. I think I said the other day that if you're asked to give your answer to only 1 decimal place in the final answer, don't round off too soon. Keep a couple of more decimal places in the work, in the steps, because if you round off too early, then at the end you round off again. You're getting farther and farther away from the answer that you want to get. And so we'll keep a couple of decimal places. And the next step is a really interesting one, because so far you guys have been able to handle questions like in Pythagorean theorem, where you have c squared equals, let's say, 144. You can find c now by doing the reverse operation of squaring, which is square rooting, or d-squaring as we've been calling it, and so c would be 12. So 12 squared equals 144. A number times itself equals 144, and that number is 12 in that case. If you look at what we have in this equation so far for our sphere, we have r cubed equals 124.92. So we don't want to take the square root. This is going to be something that we haven't done before. What we want to do this time is we want to take what's called the cube root. We want to find a number that when you cube that number you get 124.92. Now, I happen to know that 5 cubed, which means 5 times 5 times 5, equals 125. So if I just guessed at 5 for the radius, I'd be close enough. If you want to go further and actually try this out on your calculator and get an exact value, then you're going to have to find a button on your calculator that looks like this. If you can find that button, you're going to put in 124.92, you're going to hit that button and you're going to put in 3. That will give you the cube root. Some other calculators have a 3 written right in there, like that. So find the right button on your calculator, and if you want to give it a try and actually find the cube root, go ahead and try that now and see what you get. You should end up with 4.9989, which is basically 5 anyway when we round off, and so either way you end up with the radius of this sphere being equal to 5. So one way for us to check our answer is to go back to the original question, and they told us what the volume is. They told us it's 523 centimeters cubed. So if I put 5 into the volume equation for a sphere and multiply that out, you should get 523 centimeters cubed. And that's a good way to check to see if you did the question correctly. So those examples that we have talked about today should help you to finish off the rest of today's homework, which is page 466, number 5, 6, and 7. If you happen to finish early today in class for your homework, you can have some time to work on your ISU number 5. That's due June 5th, I think we said. And you're going to get the period tomorrow on Thursday to work on your ISU, so please make sure that you have it there with you in class. Have a great day.